is your boy, Kenny Lewis, and guess what? I'm here with my boy, Michael Finkley, on RokuTV and YouTube.
He'll always win. Why? 'Cause he's undefeated.
I will make it.
If I can make it through the night, just to see a brighter side. 'Cause I've been working all my life just to make it. If I can make it through.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Michael Finkley Show. So losing a loved one can be very dramatic in one's life. I can never forget the loss of my grandparents, my mom's parents, my grandmother who passed away in 2003, and my grandfather who passed away in 2005. And why this? Because I was able to, along with my sisters and my mom, take care of them. They both developed Alzheimer's disease, and within that, they lost their memory and other things about themselves. And so seeing two very dependent people depending on one another and themselves just dwindle down to basically children, and washing them, giving them their medication, and it was something. It was a time. And so the loss was, we're looking for it, but again, you're never prepared for it. And all these many years later, we do something to remember them. Remember the good times, remember the laughs, remember the positivity of them both. And this is what our guest, that's what he's doing today with the loss of his fiancé. James Ruvalcaba is with us, and he talks about his brand new book that talks about the journey of losing his fiancé. So don't you go away. More of his story to come. Back in a moment. Coming up, James talks about the love of his life. Back in a moment. On the next Michael Finkley, host of the It Factor podcast is Jeremy Robinson, and one of the 8 winners of Mr. Health and Fitness 2021, Sam Breedale, is here with us. Next Finkley, Monday. School districts, organizations, nonprofits, are you in search of a new promotional products company? Seegers Promotional Products is a Black-owned national company with over 780,000 products to choose from. Compared to other promotional products companies, they have the lowest prices in the industry. From pens, bags, shirts, they got you covered. They always remember that you are the customer and you come first. They always promise fast production and also fast delivery. With Seegers Promotional Products Company, you truly have the best. Check out their website at seegerspromotions.com and also on Facebook and LinkedIn. And tell them Finkley sent you.
She is flexible, and she is a multitasker. She is a wife, a mom. She is city councilwoman.
When I was growing up, Mom worked outside the house, and so my dad was an entrepreneur. I saw him leaving early in the morning or late at nights to go meet with clients, and he was always one who told me, if you show up on time, you're late.
I just admire how she's able to not only juggle the demands of her jobs, but keep her family really first.
The outstanding thing about the Isaac family is their noble contributions to improving the quality of life for our Colombians and people all over this state.
I, Tamika Isaac, do solemnly swear.
Discharge the duties thereof, so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations and best wishes.
I first ran because I saw a need, I saw a void that needed to be filled, a voice that wasn't there. And over the last several years, I feel like I've been able to be that voice.
So often as women in whatever spaces that we're in, we are often discounted because we're a mom or we're a wife or we have this career, and she's an everyday woman who shows women what excellence looks like.
She has walked the walk of being a small business person, of being a parent, of sending her kids to school.
Columbia is a great place, and we have done a lot in the last few years as far as law enforcement. But law enforcement can't do everything, nor should it do everything. We have to really expand upon the tools, technology, and community policing, investing in our communities so that law enforcement is a partner with our communities. Being a Columbia native, I've seen the way this city has grown. It's grown to the point that sometimes not everybody's been a part of that growth. I want to make sure that communities, specifically communities of color, make sure that they are part of Columbia's present and its future. I want to have a climate plan for this city that not only helps us be sustainable, but also helps provide opportunities for folks in the workforce. There are so many opportunities to take advantage of technology, green energy. I want to be the advocate for growing our city and being on the forefront, not just looking at what other cities are doing and following them, but being the leader.
If you don't have the right leadership, you're going to miss a lot of opportunities.
I think having a woman as mayor of the city of Columbia is long overdue.
I'm Tamika Isaac Devine, and I'm running for mayor of the city of Columbia.
Welcome back to the Michael Finkley Show. Now, my next guest, he's an author of the awesome book, Light Through the Pouring Rain. He is James Ruvalcaba. James, thank you for being with us.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
You're very welcome. Thank you for reaching out to us and wanting to share your story. So let's go back. You talk about within your book how your book is actually your life, right? Not only the life of you, but your fantastic fiancé, Annabelle. What was she like?
Oh man, just because I'm not trying to be biased here, but she was an angel. She was absolutely perfect in my eyes. This is even before I get her looks were the cherry on top here. Her personality was the cream of the crop. She was just like myself. She was I'm a grown child, so she's just like me. She was into wrestling like I was. She was into anime, cartoons, things that male usually would tend to kind of shield away from a female companion. She was more open about it than I was. So to be able to have that commonality here was amazing, and for us to be able to share and be open with each other was great. She was one of a kind. She was an old soul in a new generation here. She really had old school morals. She really held me down like an anchor, and I could never forgive her. I could never forget her. She was everything to me.
Yeah, amazing. And how do you all meet? Tell us that story.
Sure. I was driving down one of the main roads in LA, and my brother had pointed out a sign that he said that, oh, look, Party City's hiring. So Party City is where it started at, and we had a few interactions. We were both seasonal employees. And I, had the nerve to move her purse from a chair, and she came back and she's like, "Who moved my purse?" And I was like, "I did," and we had a back and forth. I was like, "By all the time you've been yelling at me, you could have just got your purse and put it back." And we left off on that note for about 3 months or so. And 3 months later, we had this interaction where we were playing music, and my style is kind of rockabilly to say. I dress very casual, just black and white shirts, blue jeans, Chuck Taylors, and she was like, "What do you listen to rap for? That's not your genre. You don't look that part." And I was like, "Yeah, and we had a rap conversation, and one thing led to another, and we found ourselves finally meeting up outside of work, and the interaction was good, and we made our feelings be known to each other. It was an amazing interaction. It was a beautiful one, but it didn't start off all flowers and daisies here. It took some time, but we finally got there.
How long did you all date?
We dated about 3 to 4 months prior to us getting together. So a funny story here. We got together on my birthday on March 9th, and we went to we went out to dinner for my birthday with my family, and everything was going good. And that, at the end of the night, I was like, I think it's a perfect time to finally ask her to be my girlfriend. And I was 21 at the time, so me thinking I knew it all. I was like, you know what? Let me not ask her out, but let me ask her out and then break up with her and ask her the next day on March 10th, just so I had one day to myself. Because I'm like, I'm asking for one day. So our official anniversary date's on March 10th. So we broke up on my birthday and got back together the next day.
Did that make any sense at the time?
Yeah, it made all the sense in the world to a 21-year-old. I was like, yeah, this checks all the boxes. This sounds good to me. So, that's what all happens. So March 10th is our anniversary date.
I love it. So you're dating, you're getting to know one another. At what point did you say to yourself, I can't live without her. I want her to be my wife?
It was pretty immediate, but we didn't want to, let our feelings be known so fast. I think it's kind of a slap on the hand if two people rush into a situation really fast. But it seems like we hit a home run straight out the gate. I think it was pretty known. Like, I think we were inseparable, and our relationship was already heading that direction. We spent so much time dating with each other that we knew the ins and outs of each other. We really knew everything about each other. And so about 2 years into it, I was already like, yeah, this is the one. I already knew when I first introduced her to my mom, like, this is the one. I was one of one. I hit it,
When you introduced her to your mom, man?
I did, yes. I introduced her to my mom on the day of my birthday, the day I actually broke up with her in the beginning, but my mom was all for her. She blended just perfectly with my family. We're pretty chaotic, and she just fit in like a perfect piece to the puzzle here. And she was amazing. My mom and all my brothers gave her, their good graces about her. And about 2 years later, I really was like, this is it. This is the one, but at that time, I wasn't necessarily in the right place financially, and I wasn't where I wanted to be in life, to be a provider. So I was like, in the back of my head, I was like, okay, we're gonna, I'm gonna eventually propose to her, but it just, the right situation needs to occur.
Wow, what a story. What a story. And it was like love at first sight for you, which is rare these days. So as you're continuing to get to know one another, you're growing together, at what point did you realize illness or something wasn't right?
Sure. Prior to the official diagnosis, it was she was having spotting issues. So she was saying that it's not that time of the month, and these issues are happening. And it happened for a course of a couple of weeks to months, and to the point where it was like, all right, we took a trip out to Chicago, and it was happening out there as well. And we thought, like, okay, as soon as we touch down back into LA, let's get settled in and let's go straight to the doctor's office. And that was about the point where it was just happening so often, and it was just occurring almost on a daily basis. So we didn't think anything of it. We just thought, like, okay, we don't know what to think, but at that time we're just like, we didn't think of that scenario at all. We didn't think cancer could even be on the radar. So we just took it day by day, but it just kept getting worse and worse, to the point to where the cancer was so evident that it showed its ugly face, unfortunately.
Wow. And when you all actually heard the news of cancer, what was going through your mind? What was her reaction?
I was having one of the best days of my life. We had just got done studying for a math that she helped me with in college. And so I was so excited because I kept failing test after test, and I finally got a B+ on my final. So I was going 100 down the freeway, singing my heart out, so excited to tell her. And as soon as I got into the driveway, I felt the atmosphere. Like, I'm like, oh, this doesn't feel right. And I just kept going step by step up the stairs. And then by the time I went down the hallway and saw her and my mom together, I was like, this had the feeling of somebody had just passed away, or we just lost somebody, or something tragic just happened. And, she sat me down. My mom excused herself and gave us the room. And she told me, this is what's going on. But when she found out herself, the doctor just sprung it on her. We didn't know. So we were together for 5 years, and she had cancer for 3 of them. And she walked around 2 years undiagnosed. So she already had cancer for 2 years, well knowing. So as we were just going, she was just like, yeah, the doctor, she went in there for the spotting issue, and the doctor had said, like, hey, Annabelle, how's the cancer treatment coming along? And she's like, what cancer treatment are you speaking of? And he's like, no one told you? He's like, oh, well, you have the diagnosis already. So that's how she found out. And then to tell me was kind of just like, she dropped the ball on me. But, unfortunately, that situation occurred. But, to our benefit, we had dealt with it. My family has dealt with 8 people who passed away from cancer previous to her. So there was no better family to be equipped to help her through the situation. So, we had a conversation. We had the most realistic conversation. She wanted to break up. She said, you know what, you're so young. There's no way I'm going to push you through this. And I thought to myself, what kind of man would I be if I left her in her lowest moment? Nothing would kill me more moving forward to hear that, maybe a word of mouth or a friend tells me, what, she passed away. I could never live with myself. She was the one. So I was really into hold her down like an anchor, and that's what I did.
Yeah. Wow. What a man you are. What a man you are. Very inspirational, very motivational. And so as she was going through her treatments for those 3 years, you were with her hand in hand and going through it together. Those final moments with her, what were they like?
You know, I didn't know it was the last moment until it was the last moment. There was no preparation for it. I was actually working at my full-time job at the time when I got a random phone call. Doctor had said, you know, we just admitted your fiance. She's at a different hospital than she was getting treatment at. So I was like, in my mind, I was like, thank God this is the prayer I had answered. You know, my prayers had been answered. I was like, this is the doctor who cares. You could feel it over. You could feel his energy through the phone. I was like, oh, heck yes, this is the doctor that's gonna be able to stop this, finally get our lives back to normal. And no, it was the farthest from that. When I arrived at the hospital, I was informed immediately, like, this is her last day. If she's not gone by today, she'll be gone tomorrow. You know, and there's no preparation, there's no book, there's nothing to prepare you for that moment. You feel like there's not enough words for you to say. So in our last moments, you know, of course, I always express my love. I told her she put up such a good fight, but you know, we already had what my book is documented, but in terms, it was going to be another project. So us two, we're going to do the same exact story, but say how a couple power through this. How do we do this? We're both millennials. We're in our mid-20s doing this. So how do we maintain, you know, dating's crazy out there. So let alone for two, you know, millennials, two youngsters to do this is already crazy. So we had this already cemented. And so in my last moments, I told her, you know, I love you and I'll always love you to my last breath. But, you know, I'm going to continue to honor your legacy by telling the story. So this story, The Light Through the Pouring Rain, is her story from my perspective, which is the male perspective, and what it's like to be a partner to help your partner get through this cancer diagnosis. So unfortunately didn't know it was the end till it was the end.
Wow. And so when we come back, James, we're going to talk about that promise, even more so that you made to your fiance. Back in a moment.
What was the promise he made to his fiancée? Find out next.
What's up, everybody? This is gospel recording artist James E. Finley, and you are watching the Michael Finkley Show right here on YouTube and RokuTV via the Greater Works Network.
Keeping your skin flawless and clean is important, and I have the products just for you. Welcome to Mimi's Natural Pantry, where she specializes in homemade handcrafts, including lye and goat milk soaps, body butters, and sugar scrubs. All items are handmade products. All items have simple ingredients and are vegan friendly. In a world where you can barely pronounce many of the ingredients in your everyday products, Mimi's Back to Nature offers an alternative choice for those who are ready to get back into nature. Ready to order? Visit their website at mimisnaturalpantry.com. All orders over $50 have free shipping up to 25 pounds. Need a little motivation? Timothy Clifton is with us every week on Mondays to get your week started with a little motivation, all here on The Michael Finkley Show. Calling all TRIO, Gear Up, JAG, and other college readiness organizations. Hello everybody, it's Finkley with the Finkley Experience. I am here to offer you information about our college readiness cohort series. This college readiness series includes college applications, SAT, ACT prep, scholarships, financial aid, the mental mind state, HBCU versus PWI versus technical colleges, and so much more.
You know, this is helpful because it's actually like making me change my college plan.
Really?
If interested, visit our website, thefinkleyexperience.com, or just email us at michael@thefinkleyexperience.com. We're looking forward to working with you.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Michael Finkley Show. We're still chatting with James, and as he talks about his amazing fiancée. So what was that promise you made to her?
Sure. The promise was to continue to tell the story and to honor her legacy here. You know, it's so unfortunate, even as we have this conversation now, somebody's receiving the news that their loved one's passing away. It doesn't have to be a partner, it's just any loved one. And it's so unfortunate, you know, and I'm not the one to judge. I'm not here to slap your hand how you should conduct yourself in honoring your partner or your loved one. But I just knew that she had conversations like you and I are having right now. She walked this earth like you and I did, or like we continue to do. And I was just like, I wanted people to know her. I wanted people to know the amazing person she was. I wanted people to really be able to walk away with perspectives and to cherish their partners, to cherish their families, even to cherish the situations. We may not all be where we want to be at, but just cherish the moment, and to stay in the moment, Don't worry about the would have, could have, should have of the past, or don't worry about the anxieties of tomorrow. Just stay in the moment and everything will be good, and that's what I wanted to do here.
And you're doing it. You're doing it by way of this awesome publication, Light Through the Pouring Rain. It's described as being a awesome book of love, pain, and faith. How did you gain the faith to get through what you needed to get through to this point in your life?
Sure. At this point in the beginning stages of our relationship, God was, to be honest, he was in the background. There wasn't much conversation between her and I about that. We both loved God and we both believed in it, but it wasn't in the forefront yet, but there was so much evidence of him and his presence in our life that was getting to the point where it was undeniable. We're like, okay, well, he's here, he's definitely amongst us. And as I continued to power through the situation, just a week before she passed away, we had a conversation that felt like, now it's a retrospect looking back onto it, but in the moment I was like, man, that was such a deep talk. We told each other things we had never told each other. But I walked away with it and went home and didn't think too much of it. Now looking back onto it, I was like, man, that was the cherry on top. That was the end of our relationship. Really, like we told each other everything. I had told her that she didn't know how I had managed to work with her because they would purposely not put us together. But no, she didn't know that I kept calling people to keep switching shifts to get to her. I just needed time. I just told myself I just needed 5 minutes of her time, and I guarantee that she'll want to go out with me. I had to walk around with a little confidence, a little swagger. I was just like, I just need 5 minutes, and I called day in and day out on people, to switch the shift. And so when it finally happened, the rest is history. So I was going and going, and I just knew that God put us across our paths because, I had driven on that street all the time. And why on this particular time did my brother point this out to me? I know that was evidence of God. And I just knew that, as we got through the process and things got tough and, recovering afterwards, I just like, God is here. God is evident. It's very hard because others say, how could you praise the man who technically took her? And I understand that. And I get it. I get both sides of the coin. But, he's just been too evident here. And he answered my prayer. And the day I went home after saying my goodbye to her, I said, God, if you could take her away in her sleep peacefully, I will never ask you for another prayer. I will forever be in debt to you. That's what we all ask for, is to pass away in peace, peacefully and in our sleep. So for him to answer our prayer, I know some people could be like, oh, well, obviously she was going to go regardless, but she wasn't guaranteed to go in peace and she wasn't guaranteed not to suffer. And for her to go peacefully in her sleep is all I could ask for. And that's why I continue to keep the faith, because I'm going to be forever in debt to him.
Forever in debt, because he gave you the strength, and he's continuously giving you the strength to get through this. Through time, through his ever loving love, you're going to get through this. And it shows today. Within your book, what do you want your readers to get from it?
There's so many perspectives, and I can go on for hours upon hours. But the main thing I really want is, of course, the perspectives to appreciate the ones around you and your situation and your loved ones. But it's to keep your sense of humor and to keep your smile, because so many times my fiance we never had a negative moment. We never had our shoulders rolled forward, so to speak. We never were looking down the ground moping. No, we actually had probably more fun in this treatment than we ever did prior to that. We just kept laughing and kept the smiles going. And so that's the actual light in the pouring rain. I wanted the rain to be metaphorically as more the negatives, more and more issues raining down onto us. But the light was us keeping our sense of humor and, our laughter. So many go through situations and they feel guilty to smile, and they feel guilty to laugh. Like, oh, that's a negative situation, I can't do that. That was the opposite approach for us. We just said, let's keep laughing, let's keep smiling, and let's keep every single day as normal as possible. And that's what we try to do. So if the reader could walk away with, what, I could keep smiling, I could keep laughing. Yeah, the situation may not be the best, but I know on the other side of this laughter, it's going to be that much better.
Definitely. As you were talking, I was reminded of the scripture, weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. We have to remember that. How can they purchase this fantastic book, and how can they find you on social media?
Sure. You can find it on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and there's so many indie retailers. We might have to do another episode to name all of them, but overall, any preferred indie retailer that sells books, it's more than likely there. And then social media, you can find me on my name, which is James Ruvalcaba. I'm on almost all social media platforms. I'm not on dating websites, so I'm not on those apps, but I'm definitely on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can find me there, or you can find me at my website, which is my name as well, James Ruvalcaba. And feel free to contact me. I respond as soon as possible because you just never know when somebody needs help. So I'm always going to be there for them. So you contact me, I'll reach out to you as soon as possible.
I love it. Another source of content, everyone. Thank you so much, James, for telling your story in your words, through your perspective. Thank you so much.
Thank you again. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Back in a moment.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Bill Whitehouse Jr. with Dan Chef Pound Talk, and you're watching the Michael Finkley Show on RokuTV and YouTube, baby.
Hey everyone, here's the inspiring me moment in 60 seconds. Today's thought is, the greatest weapon against stress is our ability to choose one thought over another. We stress because we put our whole self into a situation to the point that it becomes all-consuming and overwhelming. You got your chakras all out of alignment. Try this instead. Think on whatsoever things are true, honest, just, pure, lovely, and of good report. There is so much in the world to find virtue and praise in. So think on these things. Hey, that's all I got for you today. Remember to do all other things on social media. Now go out and make today absolutely amazing.
As always, thank you for doing all the social media things such as like, comment, follow, subscribe, and share this message on all your media platforms. Even more, hit the bell notification so you never miss a video or an upload.
Protector and provider, super.
Hey, what's up? It's Presley Tennant from The Voice, and you're watching The Michael Finkley Show on Roku and YouTube.
Dark and made it brighter. Wish it could be half that strong.
School districts, organizations, nonprofits, are you in search of a new promotional products company? Seegers Promotional Products is a Black-owned national company with over 780,000 products to choose from. Compared to other promotional products companies, they have the lowest prices in the industry. From pens, bags, shirts, they got you covered. They always remember that you are the customer and you come first. They always promise fast production and also fast delivery. With Seegers Promotional Products Company, you truly have the best. Check out their website at seegerspromotions.com and also on Facebook and LinkedIn. And tell them Finkley sent you. On the next Michael Finkley, host of the It Factor podcast is Jeremy Robinson, and one of the 8 winners of Mr. Health and Fitness 2021, Sam Breedell, is here with us. Next Finkley, Monday. Everybody, welcome back to the Michael Finkley Show. I hope that you learned something from our guest today. Thank you so much for being with us, James, and telling us your story in your own words about your incredible fiancé through your literature. Thank you so much for keeping her legacy alive and with us. We really appreciate you. On the next Michael Finkley, 2 amazing guests once more. We have the fitness competition winner himself as he tells his incredible story, Sam Breedell, with us, and also host of the It Factor podcast. We have Jeremy Robinson, so you don't miss us on the next Michael Finkley. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Michael Finkley Show. Ring that bell for notification. We'll see an email saying, hey, new content's uploaded. Please listen to us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And for more information about what we do here on The Michael Finkley Show, please visit our website at michaelfinkleyshow.com. Roku TV, we can't forget it. Please add The Michael Finkley Show to your Roku TV, the Greater Works Network. Please, please, please listen to us there and watch us every Monday and Friday, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time or on demand. Thank you so much for watching us. And guess what? We'll see you next time. Have a good one.